You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report's Central Indiana Scoreboard Show, podcast number 258.1. Our daily update on high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana and beyond. Like your daily audio sports section every single weekday, sometime between 1 and 2 p.m.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Cleveland doesn't have a timeout, so they'll have to make a successful inbound from the baseline, and then the Pacers will try to force a turnover. Failing that, they would undoubtedly foul. Second one is short, and it's rebounded by Halliburton. The Pacers have a timeout. Will they use it? No, they don't. Yes, they do have a timeout. 4 seconds to go. Halliburton for three! Three ball! Up top! Indiana by one! 1 and 1/10 seconds to go. Inbound. Merrill didn't get it off, and this rivals the Milwaukee finish.
You have got to be kidding me.
Wow. Like 15 hours later, I am still completely stunned by that one. It's 2 in a week. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report. We could not be happier to have you with us. Today is May 7, 2025. Happy birthday to my man, Thomas. It's a Wednesday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from Madison Grant High School. Producer Susie's in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville, and we're all stunned. Coming up, we have Pacers, NBA, NHL, big day for Mrs. Sinawa, and we have some college baseball and golf results. But this one's mostly about your Indiana Pacers. We did have an instant reaction podcast last night that was a lot of fun. Released that early this morning. Lots of other stuff. Go check out our YouTube page, Central Indiana Sports Report. It's easy to find. There's so much there. So it started with Aaron Neesmith on a putback dunk, just a nasty one, on a missed free throw from Pascal Siakam. Then Tyrese Halliburton finished a thrilling 120-119 victory and an all-time clutch performance reminiscent of Reggie Miller. Your Indiana Pacers trailed top seed Cleveland by 20 midway through the third, by 14 to start the fourth, and 119-112 with 47 seconds to go. That's when Siakam missed his second straight free throw, but the Pacers' number 23, Aaron Neesmith, pulled his best Michael Jordan impression and came flying in for the putback dunk.
I think there were so many plays that led up to that moment that were so big. I mean, AA, Superman flew in, Michael Jordan from the top of the key with the tip dunk. Should have been and one. I thought Miles made some big post steals. That Drew got a big steal there at the end. Pascal had a big layup. There were so many different plays. I thought Ben Mathurin, the last two games, has made plays that won't be spoken about enough. When they went on their run last game in the third quarter, he made a big corner three for us. Thought he was really big there in the fourth, getting some tip-ins and different things like that. We just figured it out, man. We have so many different guys who chip in and play a part in these wins, and a total team effort, man. It's not. There's so many things that lead up to that play. Yes, that's one shot, but there's so many plays that lead up to that, and that's a total team win for us, and that's who we are. We're not a one-man show. We don't, we have so many different guys who can chip in, get in double figures. I mean,
A Siakam basket got the Pacers within 3. Then Halliburton was fouled after an Andrew Nembhard steal. Halliburton made his first free throw with 12.1 seconds left, then missed the second one, apparently intentionally. Got his own rebound, went behind the three-point arc, lost Dean Wade with a step back, and drained a three-pointer with a second left.
Funny how it works out sometimes. Ball came off, I jumped to grab it, and I was going to shoot the floater right there. I kind of was looking around, but I just wanted to get out to the top. And then I just saw me and Ty Jerome at the top of the key. I had space and just trying to make a play. I felt comfortable there and, just knocked it down. But
Halliburton is now 10 for 11 this year in shots to tie or take the lead in the final 2 minutes of a game. The Pacers now lead the Eastern Conference semifinals by 2 games to none, heading to Indianapolis for games 3 and 4 Friday and Sunday.
It's just what basketball is, and especially the end of our season has looked a lot like this. We've had many games where you could take a screenshot at any moment and be like, how did they win this game? But we just have a resilient group, man. We just figure out ways to win. We don't give up, and we're battle tested. We've, as a group, we've basically been together for about 2 years now. And that continuity has been really good for us. We've had to figure out so many different ways to win. When some guys got it going, when some guys don't got it going, we just find a way.
It's the third time in NBA history that a team came back from 7 points or more down in the final minute to win a game. The Thunder did it against the Clippers in 2014. The Pacers have now done it twice in a week.
The fourth quarter, we just hung in. We've been in a lot of these situations this year and down the stretch of the season. Our group has a belief in one another, and our thing is we just keep executing, we keep playing. Did a really good job situationally at the end, and obviously had to get lucky.
The Pacers were very balanced once again, with 6 players between 12 and 23 points. Neesmith and Miles Turner led the way with 23 apiece, and Halliburton and Ben Mathurin scored 19 each. Neesmith was 5 for 8 from behind the three-point line. Nembhard had 13 assists, including 6 in the fourth quarter comeback. The Cavs played without All-Stars Darius Garland and Evan Mobley and sixth man DeAndre Hunter, but they did have Donovan Mitchell, who finished with 48 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds. Jared Allen had a double-double of 22 points and 12 boards. Game 3 is Friday at 7:30 at the Fieldhouse. That one's on ESPN, but I would advise getting tickets if I were you. Despite Steph Curry leaving Game 1 against Minnesota with an injury, the Golden State Warriors opened their Western semifinals with a 99-88 win over the Timberwolves. Buddy Hield scored 22 of his 24 points in the second half, making 5 of his 8 three-point attempts. Curry injured his hamstring in the win. After the game, head coach Steve Kerr said he expects Curry to miss Game 2 at the very minimum. We have a conference semifinal Game 2 in both conferences Wednesday, with number 1 seeds in both conferences looking to even their series at home. The Knicks are in Boston up a game on the world champion Celtics. Game 2 is Wednesday at 7. That's followed by top seed Oklahoma City looking to even their series with Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets. Both games are on TNT and the Max app. The Carolina Hurricanes went into Washington, outshot the Capitals 33-14, and beat them on Jacob Slavin's overtime goal 3 minutes into the extra session of Game 1. Defending Western champion Edmonton took a 1-0 series lead with a 4-2 win in Vegas. The Oilers trailed 2-1 heading into the final period. On Wednesday, the Maple Leafs looked to go up 2-0 on defending champion Florida at 7, followed by Jets Stars Game 1 in Winnipeg. Both games are on ESPN. Purdue now knows all of its 2025-26 opponents after announcing dates for their non-conference schedule Tuesday. The Boilermakers, who are expected to be a top 5 team and a national championship contender, and maybe even the preseason number 1 for the first time in program history, start with their exhibition games in Kentucky on October 24th and at home against UIndy on October 29th. After home games against Evansville and Oakland, Purdue faces Alabama and Tuscaloosa on November 13th, then hosts MAC champion Akron on November 16th. The Boilermakers play in a tournament in the Bahamas. Eastern Illinois visits on November 28th, then Iowa State comes to West Lafayette on December 6th. Purdue plays Marquette again in the Big Ten Big East Challenge on December 13th, then faces Auburn in the Indy Classic on December 20th. Their final non-conference game is December 29th at home against Kent. We announced Purdue's conference opponents with no dates yet, of course, last week on the Central Indiana Scoreboard Show. The Cubs and Reds both lost Tuesday. The Giants scored a franchise record 9 runs in the 11th inning and beat the Cubs 14-5. The Reds lost 2-1 to the Braves and have scored 1 run in 2 games of the series. The Cardinals beat the Pirates 2-1 and the Brewers topped the Astros 4-3, so the Cubs now lead the defending champion Brewers by 3 games and the Reds and Cardinals by 4 at the top of the National League Central. Aaron Judge hit his 12th home run of the season, and the Yankees beat the Padres 12-3 in a battle of division leaders. Judge is now batting .412 through 36 games. Some quick news and notes. The Elwood Athletic Department announced Monday that Sheridan has withdrawn from the Class 2A Sectional 39 field at Elwood. That means the host Panthers will face Tipton in the second semifinal on May 27th. Michelle Garman and I will have the sectional draw podcast for you probably Thursday. That will include also the new fall sectional fields for 2025. Notre Dame and Clemson have agreed to play a home-and-home series for the next 12 years. The Irish and Tigers have already had games scheduled in 27, 28, 31, 34, and 37. Notre Dame hosts in even years and Clemson in odd years. The Fever waived Jillian Alain and 2025 number 20 pick Bree Hall on Tuesday. The Fever roster is now down to 13. They can carry 12 on their roster in the regular season. Final cut day is May 15th. Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty will not run in the Preakness on June 7th, so there will be no Triple Crown winner again this year. Luke Smith is the new boys basketball head coach at Rochester after the school board approved him Tuesday. He's a 2006 Rochester grad, played at Huntington University, and has been an assistant coach at Rochester for the last 8 years. Akron's football program has been deemed ineligible for the 2025 postseason due to poor academic performance in its program. Seems the NCAA is going to start cracking down on that. That's a good thing. Tuesday was move-in day at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The action starts Friday with qualifying for Saturday's race on the IMS road course. Indy 500 practice begins next week. We move to some high school sporting events from Tuesday night, and we start on the track where Delta swept a three-way meet with Blackford and Elwood. Delta won 24 of the 30 events that were contested. Dakia Elkins won the high jump, Avery Wilson the 300 hurdles, and Kaylee Faber the 3200 for the Blackford girls. Reese Walker won the 3200 for Blackford's boys. Eastbrook's boys and girls both won three-way meets with Frankton and Madison Grant. Eastbrook's boys beat Madison Grant by just a point, 3 days ahead of the CIC meet. The Eastbrook girls went 1, 2, and 3 in the 100 hurdles, led by Anna Olson's win to fairly easily edge the Argyles and the Eagles. Madison Grant's Rylan Stenger won the 300 hurdles, the high jump, and the long jump. Ada Seitz was also a triple winner, winning the 100, 200, and was part of the 4x100 relay for Madison Grant. Chelsea Newton won the 800 and 1600 for Frankton. In the boys' meet, Madison Grant won the most events with 6, including Rosin White taking the shot put in the discus. Oak Hill had a couple of easy three-way wins against Mississinawa and Alexandria in a boys-girls three-way meet. Oak Hill's boys beat Grant 4 champion Mississinawa, and we'll see the Indians again on Friday in the CIC meet. Oak Hill's boys won 12 of the 15 events, and the Golden Eagles girls won every event, including Janessa Shields sweeping the throwing events. Lapel and Hamilton Heights split a dual meet at Lapel. The Lapel boys won behind Jack Combs winning the 800 and 1600, and Will Gilbert, Julian Soto, and Braden Pruitt went 1, 2, and 3 in the discus. Soto and Gilbert were also 1 and 2 in the shot put. Sayla Hewer won the 1600 and 3200 for the Husky girls. Riley Helmberger, Andrew Cavazos, and Obadiah Green each won 2 individual events as Eastern defeated Clinton Central 70-61 in a boys dual meet Tuesday. Helmberger was also part of the Comets winning 400 relay team. Elizabeth Bruno won the shot put and discus, and Ava Kantz the 800 and 1600 in Eastern's girls 83-40 loss to the Bulldogs. Wapahani and Burris split wins in a three-way meet at West Dell. The Wapahani boys had 3 double winners in the victory. Preston McCorkle won the 1 and 2. Connor Markham won both hurdles races, and Grady Mahaffey won the long jump and the high jump. Jacoby Holderby won twice for Burris. Sloane Sanchez was a triple winner for the Burris girls, winning both hurdles races, and she was part of the Owls winning 4x400 relay team. In a three-way meet at Lebanon, Sheridan, Sophia Goddick, Kinsey Garner, Jai Warren, and Nova Cross set the school record for the second time in a week in the 4x400 relay in 4:27:14. Cross also set the 100-meter dash record in 12:62. She now holds Sheridan's 100, 200, and 400 school records. Hamilton Southeastern's girls won the Hoosier Conference Championship. Zionsville was second. In softball, Mississinawa picked up a huge 6-5 win over number 1 and previously unbeaten Alexandria. coming on the heels of Saturday's Grant 4 championship. The Indians scored twice in the bottom of the sixth to send the game into extra innings. Then Ali Trejo singled home former Alexandria Tiger Charlie Ballage with the winning run. Ballage had a double and 3 RBIs in the win. Frankton held off Eastbrook for a big 6-5 CIC victory. Aubrey Engelking drove in 5 of the Eagles' 6 runs. Frankton is now 9-4. Demi Havens went 2 for 2 and scored 3 times, and May Ricks and McKenna Craig combined on a 4-hit shutout. And Madison Grant's 10-0 win over Blackford. Tri-Central beat Taylor 12-2 in 6 innings. Addie Mackey scored 3 times, and Bella Stewart picked up the pitching win. The Trojans are now 4-9. Delta won its 6th game of the season, 16-5 over Wapahani. Caitlin Bruns was 4 for 4 with 2 triples, 5 RBIs, and she scored 3 times for the Eagles. 5 Arabians had multiple hits in Pendleton Heights' 8-6 win over Connorsville. Cassie Hayes went 3 for 4 with a run and an RBI, and Harley Coleman and Brinley Holden each had 2 RBIs for Pendleton. Anderson is 4-6 after beating Heritage Christian 10-1. Letitia Armenta was 2 for 3 and scored twice in the win for the Indians. Northwestern beat Northfield 11-1 behind Bailey Marcus's 3 RBI performance and Stevie Ray Hedges' 3-hitter. Marcus hit her 5th home run of the season in the win. Valen Pattengale went 4 for 4 with a triple, 6 RBIs, and 3 runs in Daleville's 25-2 win over Pike. Emily Simmons allowed just 1 earned run on 6 hits for the 11-3 Broncos. Ellie Callahan scored on a wild pitch at the top of the 7th to give Liberty Christian a 4-3 win over Traders Point. Callahan went 2 for 3 with a double and scored 3 of the Lions' 4 runs. Some other scores around the region. Shelbyville beat Mount Vernon 10-9. Destiny Johnson had an RBI walk-off double. Logansport beat Peru 11-0. Natalie Packard threw a 3-hit shutout and scored twice. Clinton Prairie beat Delphi 9-2. Sadie Welliver had the win and a 2 RBI double. It was Manchester 4, Caston 3. Izzy Renz had 2 RBIs for the Squires. North Miami beat North Judson 21-1, scoring 15 times in the first inning. Pioneer beat Cass 4-3. Eastern Hancock beat Cambridge City 14-2. Hannah Whitgren had a home run and 5 RBIs. Zionsville topped Westfield 5-0. Leah Helton threw a 1-hit shutout and also had a double and 2 RBIs. Center Grove got past Carmel 6-1. It was Avon 11 Fishers 1. Roncalli beat Guerin 15-3. Lawrence North beat Lawrence Central. Sydney Moss had her 4th and 5th home runs of the season for the Wildcats. Ben Davis beat Warren Central 17-5. Jayla Prezi and Mariana Lopez had 4 RBIs each. It was Harrison 14, Jeff 2. Brady Odom hit a home run and had 3 RBIs for the Raiders. It's West Lafayette 6, Benton Central 0. Megan Creech and Molly Mansfield combined on a 2-hit shutout for the Red Devils. And Twin Lakes beat Central Catholic 16-1. In high school baseball, Frankton scored 11 times in the 5th to beat Eastbrook 16-6 to improve to 6-5 on the season and 2-1 in the CIC. Kane Oakley drove in 4 and scored 3 times. And Brady Carmack went 4 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs, scored twice, and apparently got to celebrate his 4 for 4 at Wendy's. Kellen Rock walked it off with a 2-run home run in Mississittiwall's 4-2 9-inning win over Alexandria. Rock also had a triple for the 7-6 Indians. Jackson Brizendine went 2 for 3 with a double for the 11-6 Tigers. 7 different Argyles had an RBI in Madison Grant's 13-5 CIC win over Blackford. Freshman Dylan Martin threw 5 innings to get the win and also had an RBI and scored twice for the Argyles. Clayton Heflin had a double and drove in 3 for the Bruins. Oak Hill moved to the top of the CIC standings with a 10-0 win over Elwood. Emmett Doherty and Jet Ott combined for a 1-hitter, and Ryan Lawson went 2 for 2 with a double and 2 RBIs for the 11-7 Eagles. 14-2 New Pal moved into a conference tie with Pendleton Heights after a 5-2 win over Delta. Kingston Hedges had a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning. That was the difference maker. Pendleton Heights dropped its 2nd conference game of the season, 6-5 to Greenfield Central. The Arabians scored 3 times in the 7th to go up 5-1, only to see the Cougars score 5 times in the bottom of the frame. The winning run scored on a drop 3rd strike with 2 outs in the 9th. It's the Arabians' fourth loss in their last 5 games after starting 10-0. Shelbyville scored 4 times in the first and 2 more in the second and beat Yorktown 7-4. Sam Tokar was 2 for 3 with a double, a run, and an RBI in the loss. Tri-Central overcame an early 3-0 deficit and beat Taylor 13-6. Jacob Klein was 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs, and Brody Arnold drove in 3 runs for the 3-7 Trojans. Rossville is 13-4 overall, 4-1 in the Hoosier Heartland after a 10-1 win over Sheridan. Anderson is 5-0 in the NCC after a 13-0 win over Muncie Central. The Indians scored 9 times in the first, and Caden Kendall threw 5 shutout innings and drove in 3 runs for the Indians. Kokomo beat Lawrence Central 6-4 to improve to 9-7. Landon Gibson drove in 2 runs for the Wildcats. Gavin Denton homered, and Ryad Rodman was 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored in Western's 12-5 win over North Miami. Cam Rady threw a 1-hit shutout in University's 7-0 win over Hamilton Heights. Gentry Groves threw a complete game shutout, and Cowan defeated Winchester 1-0. Chase Matson drove in Thomas Brooks for the game's only run. Anderson Prep beat Union 10-0. Zach Edwards hit 3 doubles and drove in 5 runs, and Lincoln Fathauer threw a 3-hit shutout for the Jets' first win of the season. Some scores around the region. Carroll beat Pioneer 14-4. Owen Zinn scored 4 times for the Cougars. It was Mount Vernon 9, Newcastle 0. Andrew Bolt threw a complete game 2-hit shutout with 10 Ks. He's now 4-0 with a 1.70 ERA. North Central beat Guerin 2-1. It was Westfield 5, Harrison 0. 4 pitchers allowed just 1 hit and struck out 9 for the Shamrocks. Heritage Christian 15, Park Tudor 3. Ben Davis beat Warren Central 10-0 behind Tyler Morris's 3-hit shutout. Clinton Prairie beat Delphi 5-2. Lewis Cass beat Clinton Central 14-3. It was Wabash 7, Rochester 1. Mackie Sorg threw a complete game, gave up just 1 run on 5 hits and struck out 5. It was Whitco 24, Argos 1. Riley Harmon had a double, a home run, and 5 RBIs for Whitco. It was Jeff 12, McCutcheon 1. Ethan Lane was 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and 4 RBIs for the Broncos. West Lafayette beat Rensselaer Central 10-2. It was Twin Lakes 16, Benton Central 0. Huntington North beat Belmont 9-5. Cruz Kindler had 2 hits, an RBI, and a run. Jay County beat South Adams 11-0. Zedrian Vasquez had a 1-hit shutout. And Blue River beat Seton Catholic 13-4. In boys golf, Tri-Central finished second to host Pioneer in a 4-way meet. The Trojans shot a 185, 5 shots behind the Panthers. North Judson finished with a 198 and Tri a 225. Tanner England's 43 and Jay Jankoviak's 44 paced Tri-Central. Northwestern won a 162-171 victory over Rochester at Green Acres. Hudson Whaley was medalist with a 2-under-34 for the Tigers. Peru shot a 187, beat Maconaquah and North Miami in a 3-way meet. Mason Camden shot a 43 for Peru. In local tennis, Mrs. Sinowal handed Alexandria its second loss of the season 4-1 Tuesday in a big CIC victory. Addie Bates and Delilah Young won in straight sets at number 2 doubles for Alexandria's win. Frankton beat Pendleton Heights for the second time this season 3-2 with 3 straight set wins. Laney Hamaker and Sloan Harrison dropped just 2 games apiece at number 1 and number 2 singles. Campbell Choir and Layla Dietzer won 6-1, 6-4 at number 1 doubles. Adams Central beat Blackford in 5 straight set matches, dropping just 9 games in the 5 matches. Delta beat rival Yorktown 4-1 in the Smash Cancer event, which Kate Hampton of the Muncie Star Press reported raised almost $24,000 for the Cancer Center at IU Health, Little Red Door Cancer Services of East Central Indiana, and 5 local families. Eastern ran through short-handed Marion 4-1. The Comets won at number 2 and 3 singles and straight sets, and both doubles teams won in 3 sets. Julia Salke and Reagan Princell won 7-6, 7-2, 1-6, 6-1 at number 1 doubles. Emma Buddy and Kinsey Eagle took a 6-4, 4-6, 6-3 win at number 2. Mount Vernon defeated Noblesville 4-1. Noblesville Bella Duncan won 6-0, 6-0 over Carmen Lugo at number 1 singles. Muncie Central beat Jay County 3-2. Fishers got by Hamilton Southeastern 4-1 in a match that took over a week to compete. And Guerin blanked Heritage Christian. In college women's golf, Caroline Smith is tied for 21st at +2, and Madison DeBaja is a shot behind, tied for 27th after round 2 of 3 of the NCAA Regional at Keene Trace in Lexington, Kentucky. Ball State's Jasmine Driscoll is at +7, tied for 43rd in the 76 golfer field. Florida State's Lottie Wood leads round 1 leader, Maribel Ting of Florida State, by a stroke for the individual lead. The Seminoles have a 10-stroke lead on Georgia Southern in the team event. Midway came back on the final hole to claim the River States Men's Golf Championship Tuesday in Daniels, West Virginia. They beat West Virginia Tech by 2 strokes for the team title. IUK finished 6th. They were led by Lucas Miller's 9th place finish at +10. Indiana Wesleyan finished second to Marion in the Crossroads Championships at the Fort in Indianapolis. Marion shot even par, 23 shots better than the Wildcats. Grace's Cameron Jones is the league individual champion, edging Indiana Wesleyan Sam Dykema by 2 strokes. Kyle Sanders finished +5 for 9th for Indiana Wesleyan. Taylor's top golfer was Will Schultema. He tied for 13th. In college baseball, Logan Sutter went 3 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs, and Purdue beat Ball State 14-4 for its 29th win of the year. Sutter is now the single season record holder at Purdue with 21 doubles in 2025. The Big Ten and MAC softball tournaments get underway Wednesday. IU faces Washington at 1:30, and Purdue faces Northwestern at 7 at Purdue, with the championship game on Saturday. Ball State and Akron kick off the MAC tournament at noon at Akron. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Thank you so much for listening. Always appreciate it. If you like these podcasts, please do us a favor and share them with your friends and family. We would humbly appreciate it if you would do so. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.